this is the keynote subject. Meeting adversity, Satan, head on. I put this, adversity is Satan, without question. And hopefully you'll see why in my speech. First, I'll give you the secular and biblical definition of adversity or Satan, whichever one. Whenever I say adversity, in your mind, just say Satan. The secular definition of adversity is a difficult or unpleasant time when a person has a difficult time to face very unfortunate circumstances. And I told my son years ago, when you use the word in an email or write a letter, when you say unfortunately, the next thing after is never good.
That's true.
Also, adversity also causes a lot of misery to the point a person actually experiences adversity. Adversity is to be in needy circumstances, everything turning against us. Very unfavorable times and misfortune. Further, adversity tests a person's character because under the pressure of adversity, a person may be tempted or forced to do the wrong things. Adversity causes depression, and I just know that I had that for about 3 years. But remember what I said, adversity is Satan. So Satan had a hold of me 3 years after this stroke. But, however, when a person finally has fortune smile on them, they receive boundless joy. That completes the secular definition of adversity. Now pay particular attention to what I'm going to say, the spiritual definition, because I kind of put this together myself, along with what I read. Positive use of adversity, learning and growing from your mistakes, setbacks, and suffering, in recognition of your rising above your spiritual self. Some of that stuff, like I said, I added it. When they say rise above yourself, that means despite the adversity, you still do what you're supposed to do. I'm going to quote several affirmations taken from this book called Amazing Faith by Michael Richardson. And I'll just read them. First one is, inspiration without perspiration leads to frustration and ultimately stagnation.
That's good.
Second one, enthusiasm starts a hard job. Determination works at it. Only love continues it until it is finished. You teach a little by what you say. You teach most by what you are. 4. Hey, I'm not a preacher now, Sister Brown.
But it is so.
I'm just teasing with you.
It is so.
You must, number 4, you must decide what to say or write, and then proceed with the plans. 5, and finally, all that I see teaches me to thank the Creator for all that I cannot see. And I've got a note to repeat that. And finally, all that I see teaches me to thank the Creator for all that I cannot see. Hopefully that's sunk in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm now going to give you a brief history of my journey of publishing my book. Whenever I say mine, I always put God's book.
Yep, he does.
Zoe book It's all the adversity that I received doing it. But I think I'm almost at the victory now. Now, what I want to do is briefly give you a synopsis, as Dr. Adams doesn't even know this, but what occurred prior to about getting the book published. Now, all of you know who Frank Turner is, right? He's a distant cousin. I used to, when he was with Channel 7, he used to see me, but he didn't even know it was related, right? So one day, well, I'm going off the track a little bit, but one day, he wanted this real hot story, and I was looking around, and I was the only one he could talk to. So I walked by and said, "You don't want to see me?" And after I saw that, after I said that, he started coming over to my mother's house for dinner and everything. But that was a deviation of what I was going to say. What happened was, Frank Turner had a contract with Dr. Adams for 3 books, right? Now, I was sitting, this was back in 2007. I was sitting at the computer and a flyer came by promoting his book from Zoe, promoting his new book coming out. So I said, hey, I'm ease my way in there and tell, hey, I'm Frank Turner's cousin. Can you help me out? So what I did, I sent an email to Dr. Adams, thinking that Dr. Adams was just a low totem pole worker, right? And I sent my manuscript. I said, yeah, Frank Turner is my cousin, but I wrote it real subtle, like. So I sent the manuscript to her, and about 10 minutes later, I get an email back. We like your story. I have to meet with my committee, and we'll let you know whether we'll publish it or not. I said, so I think I made a call, and she answered the phone. She said she was the CEO. So I'm thinking I'm dealing with a peon, and I got the CEO.
But I gotta add something here. He called the office, but he actually talked to my assistant first. And my assistant said it's a drunk man on the phone. And I said, you know, if he's drunk, let me cast the devil out. And that's how he got to me. Because my goal was, if a drunk man is calling Zoe Life, then God had him calling Zoe Life, because I needed to cast the devil out of him. But anyway, go ahead.
Now, since she mentioned that, I'm going to deviate from my speech just a little bit. See, everybody, I think, has known that I have a speech impediment or problem. I say problem. I don't use impediment anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. When I first had the stroke, I would call on the phone, and this would be my thing. I'm Ryan Sanders. I have a speech impediment. Can you understand me? That would be my standard opening. So there's one particular time I called this lady, a receptionist or whatever. I said, I'm Ryan Sanders. I have a speech impediment. Can you, so on whatever. She said, what kind of disease is that? So I don't use impediment anymore. I use problem. Now I'm gonna go back to my speech. But like I said, I'm joking about it now. That was very frustrating to have people thinking you was drunk. But I wasn't saved then like I am now, so it didn't really make too much difference. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, and she doesn't know this either. Like she told me she would contact me in 3 months, right? 21 days. Well, I got to about 30 days, 35 days, or whatever. So, and this is the honest to God truth. I was sitting on the side of the bed with my head down, really, really depressed. Adversity again. I had my head down. I say, I wish Zoe would call me. As soon as I said that, the phone rang. Immediately. I mean, I put my head down and the phone rang almost simultaneously. And it was Dr. Adams on the phone saying that we've accepted your publishing. We accepted your book and we will publish. Now, for those that don't know it, and I did a little research, that most people, most authors, first-time authors, they may go sometimes 20 years before they get a publishing company to publish their manuscript or whatever. Then, most of the time, what you have to do is like get you a literary agent, and he takes 15% off the top and to shop it around. So I was just completely elated. I live an author now, not self-published. There is a difference. Yes. Now this is kind of humorous too. Prior to getting this on, I submitted a letter to the CEO of Zonda Van Publishing. Now anybody that knows Zonda Van is the publisher of Rick Warren's book, what is it, Life? Purpose Your Life. I was real arrogant. This basically what I said. I said, look, I'm giving you the first shot. Because my book gonna sell over 20 million copies. So you better jump on this, right? Needless to say, I got a letter a month later saying, we don't accept solicited manuscripts. Unsolicited manuscripts. So, adversity again. Yes. Now, in 2008, I was making monthly installments to Dr. Allen for my publishing contract, right? So, I didn't see any end in sight. It was going to take me years to pay this money down. I said, this book will be coming out 5, 10 years from now. But this was in 2008. In 2009, I got married to the lady over there.
See, good things. The enemy tried to destroy him, and look what he got. He would have never got her any other kind of
Now, I want to give a disclaimer to it. I did not marry her for her money. But because one income became 2 incomes or 2 pensions, I was able to pay off my contract sooner than some down the road. And Dr. Adams, we was in it for something else. And we made this payment. She said, you are now a published author. I say, what? But all that because of my wife. Now, adversity set in another time. And I was sitting on the side of the bed. I think this was before I was married too. I think it was in 2008. So I had my head down again, just like the other time, all depressed and everything. And this is the prayer I sent up to God. I said, God, please send me someone Christian that can help me sell more books. Maybe I was married, because I wouldn't have been saying that then. Now, within 5 minutes, I left the bedroom and went to my computer, went to the Facebook site. Now, who do you think? Can you guess who I met? Anybody want to take a chance to say? Anyway, I met a complete stranger, and this is his name, G-O-D, God Venus. God. You understand? His first 3 initials of his last name is G-O-D. Now, why is this significant? Because he turns out to be the president of a Christian organization based in Toronto. And he, right now, my book is being sold on his website along with some of my book material. So anybody that tells you God is not in the mix, they don't know what you're talking about. Another time I faced adversity was due to several rejections of an article that I wrote. I kept sending it. This was back in 2006, before I even was thinking about a book or publishing a book. And I would submit this article to the Upper Room magazine. I kept getting rejected. They didn't tell me why, just kept getting rejected. I think I submitted about 4 or 5 times. I just said, I'll let it go. And what I did, I took the message and put it on the Zoe website. And from there, I would post it. I would be on Facebook, do my little posting, right? I met this guy, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. His name is Bishop Liberty. He has a worldwide, well, let me go back. The reason why I wanted to publish this article is because I wanted to let handicapped people across the world know, don't give up. You can still do whatever you got to do. That was the reason. It wasn't notoriety for me or nothing. But going back to what I was saying, this Bishop Liberty has an international online magazine that reaches you can go on this website and it tells you about 50 different countries, people that have visited his website. My article is called Mission Possible, appeared in the June edition of his magazine. Amen. And is presently in the August edition. He's 1 month behind, but presently you can go on our Facebook page and read the magazine. Amen. So tell me that wasn't God. Yes. Now this is kind of humorous too. Now, Dr. Adams told me that branding, like if you got a book or something, just like Coca-Cola, you just keep hitting the public with it. It's called brand name recognition, BNR. So what I'm still doing, I would go on my Facebook page and I would put a copy of the cover of my book, and it's got something that along with my website. I would do this to everybody I befriended, right? But those that use Facebook know when you do that, I mean, you on the news feed maybe continuously. Every time I post, I'm going on the news feed. So this is what happened. I'm going to tell you this little story about my granddaughter and my son. They were sitting and watching Dora. So my son said, and my granddaughter's name is Christian, believe it or not. He said, Christian, Daddy don't want to watch Dora anymore. She said, well, close your eyes, dear. So what I took that in preparation, and it hasn't happened yet. I took it for I'm preparing first. I was going to use it if somebody say, hey man, we tired of seeing all your posting every so much. I was going to say, well then close your eyes then. Now for the 2 words you all been waiting for. Anybody want to take a guess what they are?
The end.
She's trying to be
only
funny.
a wife that can say that.
The words are in conclusion. But the reason why she said the end, because I was giving a presentation one time, and I said, now for the 2 words you all been waiting for, so I yelled out, the end. So that's where she got it from. In conclusion, do you see now that to face adversity, Satan again, flat on, one must keep a positive attitude and keep adversity in its proper perspective. And I, in parentheses, I got pray to God and receive joy, then move on. That's right. Now, I want to add to the little story that I heard, unrelated to this, but something. I went to a funeral about 3 months ago, and this guy said, he told this story about a real old wise man and 3 young, I won't say punks, but 3 young three young men, bucks, whatever. And they had something about, they hated this old man for some reason. So the old man was sitting on the porch, and the three young boys came up to him, and they said something, and the old man said, okay. He called it out. He said, well, now, after that, I forgot that part, really. But you'll get the punchline. The second time, one of the young men had a bird behind his back, right? And he asked the old man, since you're so wise, tell me what you got. Tell me what I have behind my back. Oh, he said, I got a pigeon behind my back. The young man said, is it dead or alive? And he said, the wise man said, that answer you hold in your hand. I missed the first part, but you got the. Right. Now, any questions? I didn't go over my 20 minutes, did I?
You got about a minute for questions, though.
A minute for questions. And if you don't ask questions, I think I came up here for nothing. Even if I get one for my wife. No question?
What's the name of your website?
ConcernNotConsumed.com. Oh, one other thing, and I'm not bragging, but those people that use the computer, you always want to be #1 on Google, right? I became, if either of you type in Ron Sanders homicide, I take up the first 7 of 8 sites. I didn't even try to get that. It just came. But the moral to that is just what I said. When God's in the mix, all things are possible. I may even sell that 20 million. But that concludes my speech.